Levi, the tribe of Levi, Jacob's son Levi. In order to be a priest, you had to be a Levite, but all the Levites didn't get to be priests. It's like everybody is a priest, every pastor is a minister, but not all ministers are pastors. Yes. And so here are the Levites. Well, they were the deacons if they were Baptists, they were the stewards and the trustees in the Methodist tradition, they were the council and the elders in some of the other churches. And so they're leaving church, they see the man. I don't want to get involved in that. I don't have time for that. So they step over on the other side of the street too. But here comes a Samaritan. Somebody who lived in Big Chopper. Come on now. Somebody who had been categorized. Even the writers of the Bible categorized people. They said these are God's people, the chosen people, and these are the other people. So we really get it from the beginning of time. But God is looking for just a few of us that are willing to stop that mess. A few of us that are willing to say, when I see you, I see God. Yes, you may have done something to me. Yes, I may not even like the way you look. If it was just about you loving your mother, your sister, your brother, and your BFF, it would be too easy and you wouldn't need God. But because Jesus said, if you love me, then you gotta love them. You gotta love people that you don't want to love. You gotta love people that it hurts to love. You gotta love anyway. Anybody know some people that you really don't want to love? You don't actually like them. But God didn't say like them. He didn't say fake it until you make it. He said somehow, some way when you look at them, you gotta see me in them. I remember on a rainy day last October, Sandy, it was a day we called Faith in Ferguson. People from all over the country, Cornell West was there, and we were standing in the face of policemen, and the instruction was to pray for them. And I had to pray for myself before I could pray for them. But God said, they too are my children, and not all of them are wrong. And how, like David said, how can they get right if you got it all together, and you so righteous, and you're not willing to share your righteousness with them? We gotta love each other till it hurts. You gotta love the most unlovable people. You gotta love the people who misuse you. You have to love the people who hurt you. You have to love until you can't love anymore. You gotta just keep loving them. I know they're unlovable, but you remember the day that you were unlovable. You remember when you were too. The person who was victimized. You were lying on the side of the road of your sin, lying on the side of the road of your problems, lying on the side of the road waiting for someone to come and see about you. And because we're Christians, it was Jesus that reached way down and picked you up and said, I know you don't have anything. You've been stripped down to nothing. It says that the person was stripped out of their clothes. Every now and then we need to be stripped. Why do bad things happen to good people? I don't really know. But sometimes if we take our church face off, if you wash your L'Oreal, your MAC, and all of the Bobby Brown off your face, then maybe you can start to actually, somebody can see might just be wasting your time with your extra heavenly holy self, praying out loud, praying however it is God gives you to pray. And then somebody walks by you and you won't even look at them. You can't look them in the eye. You won't speak to them. Somebody in here has been victimized. You've been left on the side of the road, but the Pharisees don't get to decide. You need to remind the Pharisees that I belong here. I belong in this neighborhood. I am a child of God. I may not look like you. I may not walk like you. I may not talk like you. I may not live like you did not live. But God saved me too. And if God can save you, don't be yourself. I know God can save me. In this neighborhood, we are those who love. In this neighborhood, we are those who lead. In this neighborhood, we are those who show the community our love. In this neighborhood, we are those who open the doors, not just on Sunday, but we open the doors so the community can come in and people can be spiritually fed. They can be physically fed. In this neighborhood, it's not just the preachers that gets to pray, but it's young rappers that also have a gift and they get to write songs. In this neighborhood, it's not just the adults, but the children get to read the scripture. In this neighborhood, we are those who believe what Christ said. And I believe it. I don't care what you say, but I believe when God said that He made all of us, like the psalmist said in Psalm 8, He made us in His image. Not in your image, not in their image, but in this neighborhood, all are welcome. I know we're the African Methodist Church, but I can't wait until there are at least 30 more white folks. I can't wait until some Hispanics come. I can't wait until some Asians come. Because I really do believe that when all God's children get together, we really will have a strong neighborhood. You don't get to decide. God decided a long time ago in this neighborhood. Yes, children, we will have peace because we will demand peace. We will demand peace from each other. We will demand peace not just from the police, but from the school board. We will demand peace